Hello everybody, welcome. Today we are going to make Mexican picadillo. This is actually a recipe that was one of my first recipes that I actually learned how to make, and I love this. You know, some people look at it as a stew, hash, or you can make it soupier or more on the drier side for tacos, picadillo tacos. So I did start off with 2 pounds of ground beef, and I'm gonna go ahead and brown it. And once it's kind of cooked halfway through, I went and I sprinkled salt on the meat, not a lot, just like a dash. And if anybody's wondering, I got this spatula from Amazon, and I will go ahead and link that down below. The spatula is the best thing ever, especially I do make biscuits and gravy, so getting the sausage extremely small is this helps a ton. And just any grounding your meat, this is the spatula here. So I went ahead and sprinkled garlic salt and onion powder. I didn't measure, but I just, sprinkled it up, and then I sprinkled it down, and that's it. And I did use a teaspoon of cumin, and I will, cook that in with the hamburger meat. I like kind of doing it after, once the meat's already kind of cooked, because I don't want to burn this, the flavors that I'm adding into the meat. So I kind of do it once the meat's kind of already cooked. I did use 1 large potato, and I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add half an onion and cook that just for a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I did dice up 2 Roma tomatoes. I'm going to sprinkle some corn in there, zucchini, and chayote. And I did cut up a jalapeno in 4s, just because I don't want my kids to eat it, even though Xavier does like spicy food. But, and I added that in there as well. And this recipe, you guys can add whatever you want. You guys don't have to add the tomatoes or the chayote or the corn. Sometimes I'll even add carrots to it. It's kind of whatever you have time to add in, or whatever you're just, your taste buds want. But, this is just something simple. The corn is like from a frozen bag in the freezer. And then I'm going to go ahead and just saute that for, a little bit. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and add more of the rounded tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and I will mix that in and cook it just for a little bit more. I feel like this dish is really beautiful. I feel like any dish where there's lots of different types of veggies are just eye-catching. If anybody knows me, knows that I am a huge veggie lover. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I did boil 1 Roma tomato and 4 guajillo peppers, and I added just whatever the broth, just a little bit, and I added a teaspoon of cumin in there and a tablespoon of chicken bouillon in the liquid. And I'm gonna go ahead and strain that, and I did add more water into the blender to get more on the side, and add that into the pot as well. And once it's starting to cook, I did go taste it, and to me it tasted really good. Like, all the flavors were there. You can taste the cumin, you can taste the chicken bouillon. It does bring flavors out, but I did not add any more. And not only that, but even if I did need to add more, I'm gonna wait until the soup cooks for just a little bit more, because you want the salt to cook as well, I guess, if that makes any sense. So if you taste it and you don't really taste it, and then you go and you add more bouillon to it, and then it cooks longer, and you have a chance of that's gonna be pretty salty, and you guys don't want salty food. I've had salty food before, and I've come a long way with my saltiness to my food. So I've gotten to the habit of, if I know it tastes good, I'm going to leave it, and then at the end of the dish, if the, or even when you serve somebody, if they want to add salt, because honestly, it did not need any more salt and it was so perfect, then they can add salt. I like adding the guajillos to my sauce because it just it gives it a little bit more flavor, and I like the color. I like that, I like adding a lot of chilies to my food because of, it brings out that color, and with all the vegetables in it, it just makes it look like a gorgeous dish. And so that's what I like to aim for when I do make Mexican food. So I did bring the dish to a boil, and then I went ahead and I put the lid on and put it on low, and I cooked it for 25 minutes. I did time myself this time because I never measure anything. I never time it. So now I have to get in the habit of doing that so I can be more helpful to share with you guys my recipes. But you guys, this dish is so good. It is perfect. It is perfect. Amazing. The flavors in the dish, everything about this is just really good. And I want to say this is probably the best I've ever made, but it was so good. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make some homemade corn tortillas. So went ahead and did that because, yeah, just look at that. And now to serve, I like to do it in a dish, not a bowl, but like a half bowl, half plate, salad dish, whatever you want to call it. And then we do like eating rice with this. And of course, you can't forget the homemade tortillas. As always, the recipes that I make, I will list everything, the ingredients and the steps down below.